154. We're on US Highway 81 in the southbound lanes, just south of Rush Springs, Oklahoma. We're in Grady County. This was selected for cell 2-128, which is high AC thickness, or high total surfacing thickness, over a high thickness of a non-bituminous bound base. What we have here is a soil fly ash base, which is, according to the plans, 12 inches thick. We are not able to retrieve an entire or a complete core of the fly ash, the soil fly ash base, an intact core to be able to measure the thickness, but we'll go ahead and assume what they show. We're able to verify a total of 10 inches for the thickness of the asphalt concrete above that. As I mentioned, we're in southwest Oklahoma. We're in the dry, no freeze environment. We're actually about 60 miles southwest of Oklahoma City, going towards Duncan. We're just north of Duncan here. Looking around, we've got rolling country. In our particular section here, we kind of get into a flat area. Looking up to the north towards Rush Springs, US 81 actually bypasses that small city right now. Looking on around. And now looking down the test section towards the city of Marlow, Oklahoma, and beyond that, Duncan. Before I begin the walking video tour, I'm going to go back and show a little bit of the core which came out of the soil fly ash base and of the asphalt concrete which came out of the core hole. We have two distinct layers here. We've got the surfacing, which is a type B mix wearing layer, and it's 2 inches thick, and then the 8 inches of the coarse graded type A mix here. This, sorry about that. This is the soil fly ash mixture, excuse me, and it came out in pieces, evidently similar to what it's listed as it was placed. It's around 20 or 25% fly ash here, and it did come out bound, even though it is quite wet. It's not a real strong material in tension, but it is very tightly compacted, and looking at the coloration of it, and just at the stiffness of this material, it indeed is bound together with something other than just surface tension or something like that. That's what the material looks like looking down on it. It's kind of got a little biscuit here, 4-inch diameter core. See, it breaks apart quite easily when you drop it down, which indicates that it does not have a high degree of tension. Probably has considerable compressive strength, and it increases it is accountable at least when doing a pavement thickness design calculation. It does increase the layer coefficient of material that is being stabilized with it. Any auger of the subgrade, so I thought I would come out here in the median on this recently completed project and indicate what some of the exposed soil looks like. And this is it. We have just a weathered shale. It's predominantly fine. There were several types of soil which were evident on this project according to the county soil survey for Grady County. And what I had hoped to find in this area was an A24 sandy soil, and what we actually find here is more of a fine-grained soil, silty clay, AASHTO designation A4. Up now to begin the walking video tour, and I'll try to block the wind off the microphone here. Only very recently open to traffic, so it's brand new, open to traffic this year, 1989. There is no distress that I have noted along here, with a couple of exceptions, and it's not really pavement structural distress that we see. It hasn't been open to traffic long enough to rut yet. We've seen some minor distortions in the surface down towards the end of the test section where apparently a dual tired truck got on the mat before it had cooled off enough, and you can still see the marks in the surfacing of the surface of the mix. And there are a couple of locations where there were some cores retrieved by ODOT. I'll point those out as we get up to them. Coming right up on the middle of the test section right now, and there's really nothing to talk about. The change in classification for the soil is going to put this into cell 2-112, I believe. It would put it into the fine subgrade cell with the non-bituminous bound base in the dry no-freeze environment. I believe there may be a couple of sections from California already in that cell, but I don't think it's indicated them as having been marked and verified. So maybe we beat them to the punch here. Okay, coming up on station 4, there's our core holes, which research probably took. We can probably get some information on the cores which were extracted here for use in the inventory data. That's what my wish is, at least. Okay, around 4+30, the dual tire marks that I described before. See, it looks like something skidded to a halt here. And you can see where it's kind of affected the surface texturing there out here in the middle of the lane. Now I'm coming up towards the end of the test section. Again, there's no information along here. Except it appears that the outer edge of the mat there may have been some segregation, there may be some segregation in the mix. The core which came out of the second hole, and the surfacing layer sheared off within the core barrel. It measures out to approximately 10 inches, which was what we found in the first one, what's shown on the plans. Now the fly ash treated soil or soil fly ash mixture, what have you, we were not able to extract a core from the core barrel on it. It simply broke apart in there as they were trying to hammer the material out of the barrel. But we got some pretty good samples of it upstream of the test section, so that may suffice for us right now. Here's one of the more intact pieces, and it looks very similar to what we had before. I should say, actually in the median of the divided highway here on US 81, and looking down beyond the end of the test section, you can see where we go up into another hill over there. Around there's our drill crew. Got a uniform fill, about 4 feet. Now looking back up on the test section, looking to the north right now. I'm working my way up back to the beginning of the test section with some comments. The fly ash treated soil fly ash mixture, which was used as the treated base here, only extends for 1,500 feet within this project, and we happen to be right within that, which was what we were wanting to select. It ends about 100 feet downstream of the test section and begins almost 1,000 feet up to the north of us. Making my way back up here. Yes. Okay, we wind up changing the classification of the subgrade from coarse to fine, and that's going to change the cell designation also. We do have high thickness asphalt concrete, high thickness of non-bituminous bound base. This ends the video for test section 404154. from the southbound lanes of U.S. Highway 81 in Grady County, south of Rush Springs, Oklahoma.